All right, guys. So as you see, I'm working on the truck. I got the ECU out. So here's the story that I got. So what happened was apparently the owner previous to the guy that I bought it from hooked the battery terminals up backwards, and it supposedly screwed up the ECU pretty bad. It burned all the grounds on it. I'm still waiting for my service literature to come in. And I was thinking about waiting and just trying to see if I could figure it out, like if the guy didn't know what he's talking about. But I was looking around, the ECU is only $100, and I think I'm just gonna go down and get a replacement. I needed to get it out to find out the part number on it, and it wasn't too terribly hard. So the caps on here, there's one there, and there's a voltage regulator module set over there. The one in the center and the one on the right, it's may be hard to tell in the video, but the cap is definitely leaking all over the board. Two of the voltage regulator modules are burned. At least that it looks like that to me. And like I said, it's only $100 to go get another one. So I'm just gonna go get another one. It's gonna take 3 or 4 days to get here, so I'm gonna spend those 3 or 4 days checking the rest of the engine bay. So as on any of these projects, you put together a needs and wants list. This truck already has a lot of my wants taken care of, but I am going to be getting a red cable for power. And you could see here that green wire and that red wire running back are for the start button that he put in the dash. So going to be dumping that. Fortunately, the wiring for the key switch is still over here. So we're just going to get that re-terminated back in there and try to get this thing back to where it needs to be. Eventually get it carbureted and whatnot, but I heard that and read that if you're going to do that, you can't use your original heads because these are e.f.i heads. You have to get a set of adapters, which is like $400, and then it's like a 3 or 4 week wait. And in all that time, I could spend just trying out this ECU. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But right now, the only ground to the ECU is this wire right here. So this, I was told, was a diagnostic port. That looks to be right to me, but I don't have the service literature here to tell me for sure. So, but I did test running, and I unplugged that, and it died immediately. So, yeah, we're just gonna go through and keep on at it. Okay, so been going through the truck, and as I mentioned, they said that I apologize for the noise in the background. There's roofers over 2 houses down from us working, but the previous owner, not the guy that I bought it from, previous to him, plugged the ECM in backwards, or rather plugged in the battery connections in backwards. So been going through and just testing other things. I did find that there's a ground that's missing from the battery directly to the inner fender. Corrected that. The grounds back there, as you can see, are now tight, but they were just completely unhooked. And then the ground that's back in over back, see if I can see it. It's like right underneath there was also loose. So got that fixed. Also was going through and checking relays and whatnot. Now, this is the computer relay, and this one seems to be functioning. This one, however, which is supposed to be for the fuel pump, this one broke. So that's lovely. So going to go through and fix that. All right, so I'm about to pull the ECM out. There's the single bolt you got to take out right there. If it'll focus. Yeah. Down there, you got to take that single bolt out. And then you got to take the inner kick panel off on the driver's side and then there's a single bolt right there, and you pull that out, and then you just wiggle the ECM out. Like I said, I took the kick panel off, which, I mean, obviously you have to do so you can get behind it. But, yeah, just about to get it switched out. This guy wired the truck to where the key switch doesn't do anything in that position. It's over here, so high old silver. Hallelujah. Well, the relays, whenever I tested the key switch by just turning it to on position, initially, I heard all the relays click on immediately. I disconnected that temporary ground that the guy was using, and yeah, so I got to get the shuttlecraft out of the way, and we're going to take this truck for a drive. I've been going through and replacing different connectors on the truck, specifically the fuel pump relay and the EEC connector relay. So I'll show you what I was working with, and they were just shot. So I believe I mentioned just earlier that I was going through and doing this. So these connectors here were just trashed. So let's see, do I still have the other one? Nope. I'll have to go find it, show it to you. But so right now, we're on the EEC power connector, and the I can't quite get it out at the moment, but anyways, this red wire here, as you can see, the top of the connector is just completely dry rotted and destroyed. Anyways, while troubleshooting this wire, the red wire, which goes to your fuel pump relay and is the hot for it, it literally just came out of the connector. And whenever I tried to test fit it on, it wasn't getting good, reliable connection at all. It really amazes me that this truck has even been running. Anyways, so I'm replacing the connector one lead at a time. That way I could cut one, match it up to where it's got to go. Because if you cut all of them, then it's just kind of more of a pain in the ass. I mean, yeah, as long as you don't cut them all the way to the end of the connector, you'll be able to figure it out. But still, I just find this is the best way to do it. So that's an interesting deal I got to figure out. So I think that might be a symptom of a vacuum leak, but we'll have to find out. Or maybe it might be a fuel pump problem, but now the truck runs and drives on its own. So far it seems to be going pretty well. Steering seems good. Yeah, that definitely feels like a vacuum problem. The brake lights. Why is the brake light on? I don't know. Well. Definitely rich. Look this way. Oh. Look this way. I'm guessing there's a steering wheel bushing or something that's loose, because I'm feeling in my steering column it's a little wobbly. Well, there you have it. I have my truck that I've been wanting since I was a kid, running and driving. So far, we're not much over the cost of what it took me to get it. But now that we have it running and driving, guess what? We're going to change everything. So, and all that is in this box. Just got here today. So as I mentioned, I was planning to carburate it. I have decided to change that plan, and we're going to give it a good effort to keep it fuel injected for the long term. My problem with that originally was I didn't know of a lot of good computer upgrades, because with any of that stuff, especially 80s vehicles, I wasn't super aware at the time of all the good, well, let me say, options without getting really crazy on having to put a new wiring harness and all that in the vehicle. But after kind of digging back in with fuel injection research for these Fords running EEC4s, came across what's in this box. And you'll find out next time on the House of Cog. As always, we wish you Kapla. Till next time.